What's up NBA fans, Dom2K on the mic, and it's finally that time of year again already. It's that time where everybody hates 2K, they can't post a single tweet without their threads turning into a bashing session about how the game is so bad, and once again I'm here trying to analyze exactly what went wrong with this annual release that seems to get worse every single year. But this time it's a little bit different because people don't just hate 2K now, they're not playing 2K anymore. And that's something that's evidenced by the fact that a few weeks ago 2K sent out the email to its users asking why they stopped playing the game. So this isn't just people in the comment section saying no one plays the game and that it died. This is 2K acknowledging that their game actually did die. So to commemorate that, I'm making a video today talking about the main reasons nobody's playing NBA 2K18 anymore. And this is also something you can discuss on the Hardwood Amino app. This app has a ton of entertaining features for you. One I wanted to focus on today is the live layer feature that allows you to find the best place to interact with other members. It tells you exactly how many members are online, what they're currently doing, and you can click on the tab to take you to that action. As you can see here, I can easily find my favorite feature, which is the public chat room that allows you to interact with everybody in real time. Also, this is an amazing place to start writing NBA articles if that type of thing has ever interested you. If you follow my Twitter, you may have realized that sometimes I link a blog post that I wrote and that comes straight from this app. You can write about whatever you'd like, and once you're happy with the post, you can share it to Hardwood's community of over 80,000 diehard NBA fans, and you can also share it with all your social media accounts. And of course, there's plenty of other activities you can do, like vote on polls or take quizzes that are made from people in the community. In the year that I've been using Hardwood, they've only been getting better and more engaging by adding more features, so I definitely recommend this for you. If you'd like to download this app, the link for the iOS and Android versions are going to be in the comment section and in the description. Hope to see you there. So before I get into these points, I feel like it's proper to acknowledge that I actually didn't stop playing NBA 2K18. As a matter of fact, if you follow my second channel, you know I'm all about Play Now Online. However, that's all I really do on the game because the rest of it is kind of a train wreck. And basically in any year in 2K, I can always find enjoyment in playing somebody else online. That's just something I've been doing since I've started playing 2K like 10 years ago. However, I have fully acknowledged that outside of that, people are really upset with the product they put out this year, and here are some of the main reasons why. It starts out with my career, and my career is just absolutely terrible this year. And in any 2K game, my career cannot afford to be a bad mode because that's the bread and butter. That's the main mode that people buy 2K for now. It's been their most popular mode since it dropped back in like NBA 2K10, and it's still that way today. But they were in a place where they had such an opportunity with the neighborhood to do something truly great and make my career probably one of the best modes it's been in a while, and it just completely fell flat. So let's start with the obvious stuff. First of all, my career has become way too much of a story, and the story is just absolutely terrible and cringe. If you go back to when I did my first impressions of NBA 2K18, one of the things I said was that it seemed like the story was going to be tolerable this year and that I wasn't going to cringe so much. Oh boy, was I wrong. I don't know, and I just can't imagine who was sitting there in the studio and who thought the things that they were writing down were clever or witty or entertaining. And then I don't know who said, hey, let's also make it so you can't skip these cutscenes. Some people don't want to sit through a couple of minutes before they go play their games or whatever. Let's make them sit through it. And they have the girl that's a part of that story, and she contributes absolutely nothing of substance. That's just a terrible part. The story is just a terrible thing all on its own. But I think that most people could look past the poor story because most people don't care about the story of my career games anyways. But that's compounded by the fact that this VC crazed mode and microtransactions has just really ruined the whole thing for a lot of people. So when we all first bought NBA 2K18 and we first went to the neighborhood, I remember that it cost, I can't remember the exact cost of haircuts, but it was way too much for a damn haircut in terms of VC. And 2K did listen to the criticism there, and they immediately got rid of that because they knew they were being ridiculous, but that doesn't change how VC affects the rest of the mode and the fact that it's really impossible to actually make enough VC to be effective in my career. So one of the things I've been doing is I've played a ton of Play Now Online this year. I've played hundreds of games starting from October to where we are now. And through all those games that I've played of Play Now Online, all those countless hours, I just now have over 100,000 VC. Well, that's hilarious because guess what NBA 2K18 Gold Edition came with? It came with 250k VC, and to the best of my memory, that wasn't enough to do everything I wanted to do, to buy the clothes I wanted to buy, to upgrade my player to a significant level, and the fact that I've been playing this game the entire year and still don't have enough to do anything significant. That just shows you that they're pushing you towards buying VC, which has a lot to do with the microtransactions and why people are so upset with this game this year. And those factors are compounded by the fact that the neighborhood itself just didn't live up to expectations. There were no updates to it. If you go to the courts now, they're extremely dry. I had a friend who just bought the game and he was like, yo, where's everyone on the courts? Why is nobody here? And I thought something was just wrong with his connection. Then I got on myself to see there's actually nobody playing the game. And that's because if you think back to my 2K18 first impressions, one of the things I said was like, yeah, the weightlifting is cool and the gym is cool. I thought those were pretty decent features, but I was like, I don't think this is something that I'm gonna care about in 3 or 4 months. I don't think I'm gonna care to do the same exact drills and all that. It looked cool when we first saw it because it was something new and innovative, but something like the neighborhood has to have constant updates to it or it gets very repetitive, and that's exactly what's happened this year. That's why people aren't coming back to it. And then that gets compounded by the fact that 2K is having its regular server problems, and it's not just, oh, I think people are having connection problems. This was actually acknowledged by one of the game developers, Mike Wing specifically, and I saw a conversation that he was actually having with Agent Zero a couple of days ago or last week, and he put out a tweet basically asking if people would support to adjust for latency and for people who are having server problems, if people would support people being able to choose if their shot was going to go in based on shot timing or real player percentage. So basically, if that went through, skill wouldn't be a thing anymore. It wouldn't matter if you know how to time your release or not. It would be based off of your player shooting percentage. That's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that your game servers are so bad that you're trying to say, hey, maybe we should start compensating for people who are having problem with our servers by giving them the option to be able to shoot without having to have any skill. I don't even need to elaborate about what's wrong with that. That's absolutely ridiculous. So my career is completely trash. It's unanimously trash across the board. Nobody really likes it this year. And with that being a staple of their game for the last, 8 years now, that has a huge effect of why nobody's playing the game anymore. But let's go look at another mode, and this is one that I know a lot about because I play it a lot, and we're just talking about the general gameplay. And for me, it's how it relates to online because I play mostly online. As a matter of fact, that's all I play in 2K this year. And there are some inexcusable gameplay flaws. And for me, I'm one of the people who can deal with them because I've been playing 2K for years now. So whenever there's gameplay flaws, I'm like, I'm gonna bring it to their attention and hope they do better every year. But most of the times that doesn't stop me from playing 1v1 with people online. But for the people that it is stopping, for the people that are just saying I can't play it this year, I can completely understand why. One of the most obvious examples of this that if you played probably any mode in this game is that layups make no sense for a variety of reasons in this game. First of all, it's the fact that you can't make them. There's like very few players who can consistently make layups even if they're open, they're not contested. It doesn't make sense why some of these layups don't go in. Sometimes you'll be on a fast break. All it requires is for a player to be behind you. That's it. He doesn't have to get a good contest up. He just has to run and press triangle, and somehow that'll bother your layup enough not to go in. And this is really in general with shots in the paint, when you're trying to do hook shots, when you're trying to do floaters, any kind of post moves. They're just so damn hard to make in this game. And the reason why this makes no sense is because apparently there's a layup meter and you're supposed to be trying to time your layups. So what 2K did this year, this makes no sense as I'm talking about it. Your game has server issues, it has latency issues, but the way that you time your layups is when your controller vibrates, that's when you know to let go. Now, with latency problems, that's already a big no-no, but sometimes the layup meter comes up. There are times where for no reason at all, I'll be driving to the rim and I'll do a layup and the meter will show. And the meter's helpful because then I can say, okay, I know that you have to time your layups this year, so let me time it to the meter just like I timed the shots. But when that meter doesn't come up, you're basically just flying blind. You're trying to guess when to let go. And unless your layup is just completely wide open, you have a slim chance of making it. And that right there, that's enough to infuriate a lot of people playing this game. And I guarantee you that's a reason why people just said, I can't do the gameplay this year, it's ridiculous. Then there's the fact that a couple of main mechanics in the game are just very overpowered. Two of them that I can think about are blow-by animations, and then you have the snatchback animation. And with the blow-by animations, it just seems like any player can blow by any player. I swear I've seen players that aren't that good, and as long as somebody is holding on to the right trigger and driving to one side, they can get by, and that's a very easy way to get into the paint. It's a very easy way to draw fouls because that breaks down the defense, and then the big man has to step up late and then there's a foul or an N1. That's a very infuriating thing. And I'm gonna try my hardest to find this gameplay, although I can't remember who it was or when it happened. But one of the people I was playing with, they literally did nothing but snatchback animations. Can't remember which player it was, but that's such an easy thing to do in this game. You drive to one direction and get the defender's momentum going that way, then just snatch it back under the legs. You can do that as much as you want, and it's always an open jump shot. And now that I'm thinking, I believe this is with Carmelo Anthony from the 08 Nuggets. It works every single time. Small detail, but there's a glitch that happens at least once every Play Now Online game where for whatever reason I can't quick switch. So I press R1, I try to switch to a different defender, which is very vital sometimes because the defense breaks down in certain places. Then the menu just won't come up. It always happens. I just can't switch and I'm stuck using one player for that entire defensive possession, which that's a big ass no-no in this game. And then the turnovers. In NBA 2K18, this is the worst case of turnovers I've seen in any 2K. It's never been this big of a problem. It's to the point where you just have to accept the fact that there's going to be turnovers that you can't control, and you just have to try to minimize them. Because if you pass to one of your players and there's a player anywhere near him, he'll just start fumbling the ball for no reason. Maybe the guy didn't contest it, he just has to be standing near him and the ball will start fumbling. You get a rebound in the paint. If you move the analog anywhere, that's a turnover. The ball is just going to come loose. Pass to the guy across from you, the ball is going to start fumbling for no reason. It can be a very simple pass. It'll just start fumbling. The turnovers in this game are one of those things that you just have to play countless hours of to just kind of know what's going to trigger a turnover animation and what you should and shouldn't do. And after a while, you get it to a point where maybe it'll only happen a couple of times in a game. Turnovers that shouldn't be your fault, maybe they'll only happen a couple of times. Which is why I can completely understand. For someone like me, it's like, I love playing now online. I like just playing against other people, so I just deal with it. But I can totally understand why the average 2K player would just be like, I'm not playing this. I'm not bothering with that. And finally, NBA 2K18 is just missing that extra mile. And the neighborhood was supposed to be that extra mile. And what I mean by that is a game mode or game modes that just makes it feel distinct from other 2Ks. NBA 2K11 had the Michael Jordan's greatest, the greatest moments. You had that there, and you also had the MJ creating a legend. In the 2K12, you had the Legend's greatest moments. All these different 2K games just have something about them that just makes them fun to play, just something that makes them stand out. And for 2K18, I get the sense that the neighborhood was supposed to be that mode. The neighborhood, by now we can just say it's May. We can pretty much go ahead and say that it failed, especially because 2K is asking why nobody plays the game. You go on the parks and the courts are dry sometimes, which never used to happen. You go on 2K17, people are still playing that game. When people start going backwards to the old 2Ks and playing them while a new one is out, they're sacrificing to do that. They're sacrificing certain animations, they're sacrificing certain gameplay improvements that should be made from year to year. That says a lot when they're willing to sacrifice that and go back and just say, there's nothing keeping me in this game. And that means 2K is missing that extra mile. And on top of missing that extra mile, they didn't even put effort into certain modes at all. If you go back and watch the recommendations video I made when 2K17 was still a thing and things that we wanted to see in 2K18, one of the improvements, I just had very simple common sense improvements to be made to Play Now Online. For instance, the tier system, that's completely, it's dumb. The fact that you can't see who you're gonna play. Just like in NBA 2K9 and 2K13, back when you used to be able to go to a screen and pick the matchups, that was better because you could say, okay, this guy is using this team, I want to use this team. And still to this day, you just pick a team and you just fly blind. If you pick a inferior squad and the other guy has the all-time Warriors, you're just stuck like that in most cases. Why would that have been a difficult adjustment for 2K to make? Instead of a tier system, just let people pick what teams they want to pick. Why is that a hard thing to do? One of the features of Play Now Online is just flat out broken. I've been in the top tier league forever now, the not the greatest of all time. I can't remember whatever the last one is called. I've been in that league forever. I can't win the trophy. No matter how many times I win enough games to get the trophy, they don't give me the trophy. It's a small thing, but the small things being correct are what make games great. Blacktop mode. I don't know if you guys care about blacktop mode. I don't know how many people care about it, but that's something that I use from time to time. I got on blacktop this year. It's the exact same thing as it was last year. Literally nothing is different. People are still wearing the stupid Ballers and Ringers shirts where they used to wear jerseys, which I don't think anybody asked for. It's pretty much identical to what it was in NBA 2K17. It's like they just copied and pasted it straight over. I've never cared for the My Team mode, but I'm gonna take you guys' word for it. I hear that My Team is pretty much what it was in 2K17. I heard there's barely any difference and people really hate My Team. Chris Smoove used to be an avid My Team player. He hasn't even uploaded more than like 7 videos this year for that, so that's never a good sign. And that's a huge reason the game is failing, because My Career and My Team, they've basically, in the next gen consoles, they've built those as pillars of the game, and this year both of those are failing. Nobody is interested in either one of those modes, and people stopped being interested in offline modes quite a while ago. So all of the things in this video, they kind of come together to create the perfect environment where people don't want to play the game anymore. And normally people are mad at 2K and they say they hate the game and that it's trash, and they still play it though. That's the difference every year. Now this year people aren't playing it anymore, and ironically enough, it's not because everyone went to NBA Live, because despite all this game's flaws, NBA Live is still an inferior game. People actually started to go and playing Fortnite. As funny as it sounds, yeah, Fortnite is stealing a lot of games' fan bases, and 2K just happens to be one of them. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. Those are the main reasons that people aren't playing NBA 2K18 anymore. And although we would all love to have a great basketball product in front of us, let's just hope that this inspires a good 2K19 game, because the difference between this year and every other year is that, like I said, people actually aren't playing it anymore, and you can see it and you can hear it from the company. So that's not the same thing as people not buying their game anymore, but you have to imagine that if people aren't playing the game, they're probably not indulging in microtransactions either, and that is a loss of revenue. So I guess we're just going to do what we do every year and hope for a better game next year. Let me know in the comment section if there's a different reason that I didn't list that you stopped playing the game. Hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed, and hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications on future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.